your skills regardless of the outcome.
Yes.
Oh. Ooh. That don't look good.
Oh, uh-oh.
What did you do?
Uh-oh.
My entire life.
Are you sure?
With that accent, your entire life, what did you see?
But the scales
Where do you think all those soldiers were marching to, lady?
rise ahead.
What are you gonna do?
I wish you could live to see the world we made.
You ain't gonna kill this old lady. Come on now. Come on now. You ain't gonna do that.
Oh, no!
Hey, yo.
Oh, man.
She's a prune. She got pruned.
She's gonna do something bad. She's gonna call the cops and some kids in her front yard. Like, I know they're up to no good. Bring your guns.
Oh my god. She's like dried out. She got like dried out. Yo, Arthur Harrow he's a freak.
She should have stopped driving maybe way earlier and then just start plowing through a schoolyard or something like that.
Who knows how many people she's
avoided
run
some
over.
real bad shit. Yeah, or will. We
trust
definitely dodged a bullet with that one.
Phew. Thanks,
oh
Arthur.
man, oh man. Welcome back to New Rockstars Moon Knight. Episode 1 proves that even golden girls can have their worst days ahead of them. But unlike cult leaders MT and I have been suckered into following, Arthur Harrow's got the true Egyptian demon powers to back up the Kool-Aid. God damn it! We found it! I think we found it. We went up to God
Ammit. God Ammit. We got it. We got past the censor. It's fine.
Ammit. This is Inside Marvel. It's New Rockstars After Show for Marvel's Moon Knight on Disney+. I'm Erik Voss. I'm here with MT.
Dude, I think that old lady might need some medical assistance. She's not looking too good.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, she's looking a lot more drier than she first appeared.
Losing a bit of color, looking like WandaVision episode 1 a little bit.
Oh,
there.
for sure.
Just black and white. Just black
Also,
and
the
white.
WandaVision finale with those witches when they got sucked out.
Or how about
the
a
flashbacks.
Visions finale in Infinity War? Kind of gray, a little gray and dead.
I think that's the best one there. Yeah, 100%. She's 100% dead there.
General thoughts for this first episode, MT? What was your feelings coming out of this?
Dude, like, it was obviously like it's a little bit of a slow start because like we don't see Moon Knight straight out the gate, but the ending of this episode gave me so many goosebumps that I had to rewatch it over and over again because like this is one of the best intros to a Marvel hero that we've ever gotten, in my opinion. Like, my God, like, so badass. But what'd you think?
Some of the best character development I think we've ever seen in the MCU. Some of the best acting we've ever seen in the MCU from Oscar Isaac. Good Lord, amazing casting here. And I love the fact that we start with Ethan Hawke, starting with this creepy cult villain from the get-go. One of my favorite introductions to a different side of the world. There's so much mystery. The more you dig back into this episode, you realize, wait, there's so much to question.
Right.
So many loose ends, so many little sub-mysteries that pop up. We're going to talk about all of them in this episode, in our first of this Moon Knight After Show series. So let's dig into it. This first episode introduces us to Ethan Hawke as the cult leader Arthur Harrow jamming out to some Bob Dylan Christ rock while lining his sandals with broken glass. This guy's the real deal. Never brings it up.
So gruesome.
Yeah.
I
Never even
winces.
Never even winces. Now, it's fascinating that we start with this guy, especially the fact that he's Arthur Harrow, really a nobody villain from the Moon Knight comics. It's made us all think that he might be revealed to be someone else. He might have some kind of additional identity revealed later on, or he just might not be exactly the name Arthur Harrow. We'll find out. But Oscar Isaac, we begin with him playing the awkward, bumbling Stephen Grant, a British loser who thinks he has a sleepwalking problem. And he's really an ancient history nerd. He calls his mom on the phone. We don't hear the mom talking, though, so who knows if there is anyone on the other end there. He's got a fish Gus with just one fin, like Nemo. I love how they call that out later in the episode. He's nodding off to sleep. Obviously, he has some kind of sleep condition, but he works in a London museum gift shop with the bully Donna, who's just all over
the
him.
worst. Literally the worst. Like, come on, Donna. Like, give him a break. Come on.
Come on, Donna. And then
Donna.
the security guard who won't remember his name, but he's making some connections with some other employees. He's got a date set up. He's a vegan, but
I mean, he's still Oscar Isaac at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, the guy doesn't even need to open his mouth.
Exactly.
Just get a shot of Duke Leto Atreides from that side angle, leaning back in the
like
seat.
The corpse.
That's all I need.
Don't even gotta be alive.
MT and Voss reveal themselves as necrophiliacs.
It was bound to happen.
Bound to happen. He talks to a gold-painted street performer. It's apparently his best friend. He straps his leg at night to try to stay awake, but then he wakes up face down in the Alps, running from gunmen, trying to recover a golden scarab artifact with Egyptian hieroglyphics that he stole from them from one of their castles that are all over the Alps. And then Steven runs down to the village where he sees Arthur Harrow with a gathering of his cult, performing this creepy judgment ritual using the tattoo of Ammit scales to judge their past, present, and future morality. This old woman fails the test, gets her life force sucked out.
Whoops.
This leads to an epic chase, Steven going in and out of consciousness, where he wakes up like brutally savaging his pursuers.
Yeah, killed a couple of
taking
people.
them out with logs, all from behind the wheel of a cupcake delivery truck. exciting sequence here.
Taking a cue from a WandaVision, just completely just demolishing things in a truck. What's her face, Darcy Hayward.
Yeah, for sure. He wakes up from this mountain road thinking it was all a dream, but then he just notices these little glitches in the Matrix. Like the fish's fin has grown back. Several days have passed, causing him to miss the date. He orders his steak medium well, just well done, right? Which is just painful to see. Order a filet. Well done. I can't handle that.
Listen, man, I always order my meat well done. I'm one of those people.
MT!
I always do it. I have to make sure all the bacteria is dead, Eric. I have to make sure the meat is cooked.
You the steak. Just promise me if you order a well done steak, just make it like a New York strip. Don't get a ribeye. Don't go for the nicer cuts, because you're just not you're not going to fully appreciate it.
All right, you're right. I'll give it a try.
No, you don't have to change what you do. This is just me projecting my opinions on the way you want to eat your food. Don't listen to me. This is just how I react. Anyway, I'd eat it raw. I would just bite a cow if I could. But they bite back. Mid-moo. They would bite me back. They have. And they will again, according to Ammit. But then, so he also realizes in his home, there's this crawl space. He finds this burner phone. It's got Layla's number on it. Layla calls him Mark. He's like, who the hell is Mark? Mark starts talking to him in the mirror. Then he starts getting stalked by the ghostly Khonshu. It freaks him out. Harrow tracks him down to the museum, lectures him about Ammit's power. How, if only Ammit were around, we could have stopped Hitler. We could have stopped Pol Pot. We could have stopped the Armenian genocide.
What was Ammit doing, honestly?
Yeah. Why? Where was Ammit? Where was Ammit then? And he tries to actually judge Mark, but the scales never balance, which I thought was super interesting. And then later that night, the demonic jackal chases Mark through the museum into the bathroom, where Steven listens to his alter ego Mark in the mirrors. I love the cinematography of the mirrors and the different reflections that were either appearing in the mirrors or suddenly reflections disappearing from the mirrors. Things that were happening in real life, but not in the mirror reflection. Just a lot of great direction there. Yes. And then Steven surrenders to the warrior of Moon Knight, who beats that jackal so savagely that a bunch of white people and stand-up comedians are going to demand Oscar give up his Oscar. I had to work it in. Oh
my God. That jackal shouldn't have said that shit, Eric. He shouldn't have said it.
He should have kept it out of his effing mouth. Anyway, the question we're going to talk about here, how exactly Arthur Harrow's powers work. The powers of Ammit. Does this mean that Ammit can see into the future for all of us and has powers over our destiny? Or is this whole judgment of people's souls, is it all bullshit at the end of the day? How much of what we're seeing is really real?
Can you gaze into the future?
It's a future he can see. Those crocodiles are just blinking and doing the Raven.
It's like, oh my God.
We need Raven on this show.
Seriously, let's get Raven on Rogue Theory. Why not?
Raven just grabs our wrist and then sucks our life out. Like, I'm sorry you can't be here to see the world we create.
My God.
One of the best ways you can support us here at New Rockstars is by grabbing some merch over at newrockstarsmerch.com. They have the brand new Moon Knight latest obsession shirt, Tomb of the Moon God.
Ooh.
It's a cool shirt design, and when you buy it, you're going to get the chance to pay for a shout out that will run during the upcoming Inside Marvel episodes. Now, we don't have those shout outs yet because, you haven't bought the shirts yet. You haven't done it yet. But once you do it next week, you're going to see all kinds of crazy shit that people right here. MT and I are going to shout out a couple of them, respond to you, answer your questions, shut down your theories, or say that's a great idea. You will get MT's judgment here right now. But
pure bald Haitian judgment right here. Just bring in your questions on the latest obsession shirt immediately.
Yeah, we'll have a tattoo on our arms of just two different MT heads back to back with scales in their mouths. Just like,
that's the first tattoo I'll get. It's going to be just me judging others.
And the last tattoo. It's the only tattoo. Well, anyway, head on over to newrockstarsmerch.com. Check out that latest obsession shirt and all the other great Moon Knight items like this hoodie's on there too. It's a great,
love that hoodie on you, bro. Looking good.
MT, what's our first question coming out of this episode of Moon Knight?
Eric, it's the main question here, I feel. How the hell do the powers of Arthur Harrow and Ammit even work?
Yeah, really the most curious part of this premiere was the whole Judgment of Ammit ritual that Arthur Harrow places on his cult followers. He balances the cane on their palms. And that cane, by the way, is topped with the back-to-back crocodile heads. Crocodiles being the head of Ammit, the Egyptian mythological demon beast who devours the souls who are judged by Anubis to be unworthy. Ammit has the head of a crocodile, the front body of a lion, and the hind quarters of a hippo.
Thick! Too thick, Ammit, god dang!
You hate to see Ammit come, but you love to watch Ammit. Is this disrespectful? I think it might be disrespectful. I don't know. This is an ancient pagan religion. Is anyone really worshiping?
I don't know. This is a compliment, if anything. I would never smack a god if they appeared in front of me. That would be nice.
And you know what? No one worships Ammit. They fear Ammit.
Exactly.
Ammit is like the beast. It's not like one of the gods in the Ennead. Anyway, but the Kang, we're getting to Kang. We're not there yet.
Not yet, but we're getting it soon.
The cane swings back and forth like a pendulum between the judged person and Harrow. I just love the blocking of all this, by the way.
Yes.
I love it when just like little simple things can just be like maneuvered that way. And it just feels so like ancient and like you can imagine all these people being like, yes, do it, chanting. But while the cane swings, the arm tattoo activates. The tattoo shows the double croc heads holding scales in their mouths. Now, MT, I found this really interesting because in Egyptian mythology, it is not Ammit who does the judging. It's Anubis.
Ooh.
Anubis holds the scales, weighing your heart against the weight of a feather. And if your heart weighs more than the feather, then you're going to Ammit.
Going to hell.
Yeah. But the fact that Ammit now holds the scales in her mouth reflects how in the eyes of Harrow and his followers, Ammit deserves to be the sole judge and jury and executioner. Take Anubis out of the process. Because this way, you don't have to wait for the sinful to commit their sins. You can, kind of like in Minority Report, stop the criminals in their tracks before they get to harming others. Before that old lady gets to plowing her Buick through the playground. Exactly. Now, the tattoo seesaws until it bounces out and turns green for a worthy soul, or it tips to one side and turns red for our dear old unworthy grandmater. Her soul sucked out. And when Stephen got a glimpse of her, she looked like a lifeless gray corpse, kind of like someone halfway through a sip from the wrong Holy Grail. Like, she chose poorly. Or will choose poorly. Now, we actually see Harrow's tattoo moving both in the Alps and in the London Museum. So it's not just like in the possible dream reality, it's in what is presented as objective reality. Safe to assume that Harrow's powers are real, at least as real as anything from Stephen's perspective at the moment, which is something we should absolutely question as we move ahead. We'll get to that question. But the episode also opens from the objective point of view, showing Arthur putting the broken glass in his sandals, broken glass that he walks around upon for every step, which I just think was this episode's way of proving to us that Harrow is the real deal. He's not just a showman. Like, he's not a snake oil Mysterio type trickster. he has some kind of real power.
Yeah, because like he's not bleeding at all. Like not at all.
He's not. Now it could just be the guy's got thick skin feet, or he's
calluses, just all foot calluses.
He's got what Peter Jackson had the Hobbit actors wear, just like foot shoes.
Oh yeah, like Captain America 1, like Chris Evans has to run around in those little fake shoes.
Yeah, he's got a hold of some of those, and then but it's only for us to make it to trick us. I don't think so. I think the idea is that this guy's got some real powers to him. Now, one thing I want to point out, MT, is that this is one of many recent examples of MCU characters running afoul of some cosmic legal system that they previously didn't know existed. Remember, Loki and Sylvie were similarly prosecuted for future violations of destinies that they didn't know were scripted out for them by the TVA and He Who Remains, aka Kang. Doctor Strange is getting dragged before some mysterious judicial body akin to Marvel's Illuminati. Characters in What If were judged by the Watcher for the mistakes that they made, or in some cases given second chances, lighter sentences. Cersei and the other Eternals are facing the judgment of Erisham the Judge based on some other cryptic divine code. I just think there's a reason so many of the MCU titles are pointing in this godly legal direction. They're obviously linked, at least thematically, and perhaps there's some kind of cosmic accords scripted by some panel of VIPs that we'll learn about a lot more soon. Specifically, I think there could be a link between Ammit and King Pharaoh Ramatut, aka Kang, which I plan to explore more in an upcoming video. But for Ammit to arrive at a final judgment for anyone means that Ammit is in agreement with He Who Remains in Loki that people's future decisions are pre-scripted out for them and that nothing we do can change that destiny. However, Ammit was unable to judge Stephen Grant, which is probably because he has multiple identities inside of his subconscious, and each of those identities might have different destinies. That could make Stephen's very existence in violation of a code prescribed by Ammit and He Who Remains, and that Stephen could exist as a kind of multiversal, dare I say, nexus being in this reality, one who fits in better with a multiverse of possibilities. But really, the question I have, MT, is this the case because Mark/Stephen have dissociative identity disorder, or is this because Khonshu is possessing them? Is the show saying that these two are the same thing? Would that uncertain judgment happen for anyone who had DID?
I think that, when we see Harrow and Mark having this, or I should say Steve, having their conversation in the museum, he says that Steve has chaos inside of him. And like, I made a video about this in the past, but I really do feel like chaos magic or chaos energy is a factor in this show. It's going to be a huge factor moving forward. And I think that because of this chaos magic, and this chaos energy, it's able to flip Mark's brain into having two separate identities. So like, because like you said, he has these two identities, the tattoo is like, I can't really make a judgment on these two people. I'm only one tattoo. You're gonna have to make another tattoo for two people, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I was very confused. So yeah, I feel like it's more than just your normal DID type of situation. I think this is like a cosmic sort of like influenced DID type of situation that could be happening here. But what do you think?
Yeah, I don't want to speak out of turn in describing the symptoms and the nature of dissociative identity disorder, which is a real disorder. It used to be called split personalities or multiple personalities disorder. The technical term now is dissociative identity disorder, because it's not like your brain is split or broken necessarily. It's just that you disassociate in and out of different identities and different forms that exist in your subconscious, and that each of them have specific characteristics, specific ways of talking. They've done a lot of research in the show, apparently, to talk to mental health experts and how this actually works. And you can tell Oscar Isaac has really done the homework. But the thing is I think the show definitely needs to answer that question, because I think the answer needs to be that Khonshu has cursed Mark in a specific way that is unique. And that we aren't making a sweeping statement about everyone suffering from dissociative identity disorder. I think Arthur Harrow was so surprised to see the scales not reach a conclusion that must mean that Mark is a unique case, that Khonshu's possession of Mark is what caused his condition. But we don't really know if he had this before or not. We'll talk about that a bit later. But I think the conclusion that we should draw here, for now at least, is that Ammit has real power. This is an example of another god that exists in the MCU, in the same way that the Thor movies established that the Norse gods are actually real gods that exist in the cosmos, that the legends that we heard throughout mankind and human history were based on real people. The Eternals made the same kind of thesis statement, right? That characters like Icarus and Athena, are all based on real people that existed, or real beings that existed. So I think the idea is that in the MCU, we're going to learn that every being of mythology had some kind of root in some super heroic figure from history, or someone with real power. And I like the idea that we're going to meet all the gods at some point. I mean, I don't think they'll ever cross that road and say that Jesus Christ is a god who's based on some superhero.
You don't think we're going to see Jesus in Thor 4? You don't think that's going to happen? Jesus versus Gore?
I mean, maybe they'll link something like Adam Warlock as like a Christ figure or something like that. Like,
he was very much
your
traditionally
Legends of Jesus is actually Adam Warlock. And then everyone will get pissed off. People will lose their minds.
New churches would
really,
be built, Eric.
Oh, yeah. I think the closest they'll get, to be honest, is Mephisto. Like, I think the Christian devil will realize is actually based on stories about this godly demon figure, Mephisto. But yeah, I think the idea is that, like, Ammit's powers are real insofar as anything we are seeing is real. Again, I think all of what we're seeing in either the realities that Steven / Marc are bouncing in and out of, I don't know if we could trust any of it yet. In the same way that, like, they describe this as Fight Club, which is, like, famously a story that, the reality presented to you is actually through an unreliable narrator.
Right.
So, yeah, I think we need to be definitely on the lookout here for some red flags where things that are presented to us as just normal baseline reality might.
And, like, like, something really fishy happened at the end of the first episode where, like, when Steve, I keep wanting to call him Mark. He's not Mark, he's Steve. When Steve gets off the bus, he sees Harrow on the bus, like, as the bus drives away. So, like, is Harrow even real? Like, is that just in his mind? Like, what the heck was that about? Like, why didn't Harrow kill him?
That's weird. And, like, we don't really know how Steven got on that bus because he wakes up already on the bus. Was he stalking Harrow? Was Harrow stalking him? Were they in the same? Because it looked like a connecting bus with, like, different parts to it. Did Harrow not know that Steven was on the bus until Steven got off to look at him? Like, I think it was presented to us in that moment as, like, Steven's kind of losing his mind, that things that were part of his dream are actually part of his world, and that Harrow is as much of a Spector as Marc Spector, or as much as a Spector as Khonshu is.
Khonshu. He's just everywhere, lurking about like a creep. This episode, yeah. Oh my god, so tall.
So creepy, right? I love the design of Khonshu. Like,
yes.
Another thing that they just pulled directly from the pages of the comics that just looks so good.
I never thought that I would be as creeped out by Khonshu in real life, but, like, it just makes sense. He's just a really creepy looking dude, and, like, it's just bones.
The movement, the way he, like, lurches forward, those long steps.
Like, get the out of here, Steve!
The weird wisps of things are just floating behind him. Like his hair, he's got this weird cobwebby hair that just pokes out. Like, the little details that bring Khonshu to life. Incredible. Well, there's a lot more to talk about from Moon Knight, but first we want to thank some people who helped us make this episode. Thanks to our friends Geology for sponsoring this episode. Moon Knight has had it bad. Between insomnia and late night fights, there's no sleep. Get this man some eye cream and skincare routine. He's not alone. 50% of the guys suffer from under eye issues like the dark under eye circles, puffiness, tired eyes, fine lines, wrinkles. This is where Geology comes in. Skincare shouldn't feel like a gamble. All Geology's products are made with scientifically proven ingredients trusted by dermatologists and cosmetic chemists. Start with a complete trial set, a 30-day supply of face wash, Vital Morning Face Cream, Repairing Night Cream, and Nourishing Eye Cream. Includes 2 bottles of face wash, one for the sink and one for the shower, or to take with you to the gym. The part we like about Geology is they do the hard work of finding the right products for you and just have you get to use them. Their mantra is make handsome a habit, which is way better than saying make tired eyes a habit. Make a handsome habit. So head on over to geology.com and take their free skincare quiz to save up to 50% off your first 30 days trial, or just click the link in the description. That's geologie.com, or click the link below to save 50% off on your 30-day trial. And speaking of sleep, you might lose some shut-eye due to the crime fighting, but you don't want to miss out on rest because of a bad mattress. That's why we love our Helix mattresses.
Yes, so much.
Helix Sleep has a quiz that matches your body type and your sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. They have soft, medium, and firm mattresses. Mattress is great for cooling you down if you sleep hot. Even a Helix Plus mattress for plus-size sleep.
The Helix Plus mattress is the best. I sleep on that every night. It's the best.
Yeah, MT loves his. I got a Helix mattress. I love mine. It feels like MT and I are sleeping on the same mattress, connected through some kind of cosmic rift, and we're all just drifting off to
when we sleep, we
together.
can connect our dreams together via the Helix Wi-Fi. It's the best.
We do. So, when I have my Event Horizon horror dreams, I drag MT into hell with me.
Yes.
We both have barbed wire wrapped around our faces. That's literally
Helix.
the recurring dream I've had for the past few days.
Oh,
it's awful.
Really? Oh,
But,
God.
Yep. But MT, when we get the right kind of sleep on a Helix mattress, those dreams don't last very long, and we wake up feeling great. So it's all worth it. The mattress ships right to your door for free. No need to go to a mattress store. Just go to helixsleep.com/Inside Marvel. Take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you to a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. They have a 10-year warranty, and you get to try it out for 100 nights. Risk-free. They'll even pick it up for you if you don't love it, but you're going to love it. Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/Inside Marvel. All right, MT, back to Moon Knight. What's our next question?
Well, Eric, did Khonshu cause Marc's dissociative identity disorder, or did he have DID before meeting Khonshu?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question. I think the show really needs to answer. In the comics, it really goes back and forth, because initially in the 80s, Moon Knight was not at all described as someone with dissociative identity disorder or schizophrenia or anything. People didn't even use the term dissociative identity disorder back then. They called it like split personality disorder, or just like more offensive things to describe people going through issues. Really, Moon Knight was just presented as a Batman-style vigilante with lots of alter egos. Nothing more to it. But in later comics, they started to explore the mental health side of this. And then in Warren Ellis's run in the comics in 2014, at first, Marc Spector thinks he might have DID, but it's stated that that is not the case. Khonshu is just a real entity living inside of Marc's head, and outsiders see this and diagnose it as DID, but all of Marc's alter egos are really defined as machinations of Khonshu. And then in the 2016 run of the comics, it suggests that Marc actually had DID or schizophrenia or something when he was a kid, and that all those identities were also created by Khonshu, who was around him when he was a kid. But maybe Khonshu was presented as being unstuck from time and just a forever demon in Marc's destined timeline. Or maybe that could have been a false projected memory by Khonshu in Marc's adult presence. When he thinks back on those memories, he thinks back on Khonshu being there alongside him. We just don't really know.
Yeah,
but either way,
they purposely have made it very ambiguous throughout time as to what's going on with Marc, just so whoever has the reins to who is writing Moon Knight at the time can just write whatever they want and just be as creative with the character as they want. So
right. Exactly. And in the comics, they always infuse Marc's issues with Khonshu's possession, so that the two are really both owned as both a superpower and a curse, just an experience that Marc is going through. It just remains to be seen if this series is going to say Marc Spector previously had dissociative identity disorder before ever meeting Khonshu, and if so, what traumatic event in his younger days might have caused that? Or if Khonshu possessing him is what caused the DID, and if so, does that mean Khonshu causes every avatar he's possessed in the past or in the future to also have DID? Or just Marc is a different, unique avatar who reacts this way to Khonshu possessing him? And if so, why that's the case? I really think at the end of the day, Khonshu possessing Marc could certainly be traumatic enough to result in DID in Marc. And we don't really know why trauma causes certain people to react by having this issue of dissociative identity disorder. But I think we need to know if Marc was unique in that side effect, and what particularly about Marc's past causes that. Or if this is just something that Khonshu does to everyone. What do you think, MT? Are they going to stay nebulous about this, or are they going to try to answer some of those questions? I think people might have some negative reactions here.
I think that, if they do address the whole issue or the how the origins of Steve's DID, I think that they'll have to be very, very obviously very tactful and like approach it very like smartly. But I think that they might have to, honestly, during this series, because like they are tackling such a huge topic, and like this is the first hero, the first like major hero, I guess, that has really a mental illness. I mean, we do have WandaVision and like Wanda struggling with depression and all that, but like this is like a DID. Like this is the first type of hero that we're getting like this. So like I just feel like at some point during this season, we're going to get a brain scan type of moment where like he's going to be in a hospital and be like, all right, this is what's going on. Like this is where his DID or like, or he's always had DID, or like this is where it's coming from, or something. But yeah, I think that we'll get some type of answer there.
I think it's tough. It's definitely a hard question to answer because you don't want, dummies watching the show thinking that, oh, someone who has DID between this and that James McAvoy movie Split, that means you could be one of your identities could be a superhero. So, hey, wake up in there. Is there a superhero hiding there? You should surrender control to them because I want to hang out with them instead of with you. Like, you don't want that to be the case. You want like this to educate people about dissociative identity disorder. Sure. But I think they just need to make it clear that Marc's superhero nature comes from Khonshu. Dissociative identity disorder is a psychological side effect from that. But it's not like you having DID is a kind of superhero thing. It just makes it harder to also be a superhero then. Because when you're in these situations, you don't know who's at the wheel in that moment. And you got to have that person make the decision to surrender control to one of the other identities so that identity can be the superhero. This isn't meant to be like a fun wish fulfillment thing. This is like a curse story and how the challenges of having to walk every day with that curse. So as unfun as watching someone be a superhero can be, because I got to tell you, it's pretty fun to watch Moon Knight beat the shit out of a jackal in a bathroom.
Yeah, Moon Knight's a pretty fun superhero to watch, gotta say.
Yeah, but not one I would want to be at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not. For sure.
I mean, Hulk seems a bit more fun, or like, could be Tony Stark, just fly around in a cool iron suit.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be either. I don't want to be Moon Knight or Vision. Those are the two I would not want to be. In the FC, which is mainly Vision, mostly not Vision. Vision just dies.
That'd be tough. I mean, that's something that I hope we explore more in the MCU. With how being a superhero isn't wish fulfillment. It kind of sucks.
Yes,
like it's hard to be a superhero. You wouldn't want that life.
Yeah.
So I love those kind of stories in the MCU.
And I hope that they actually get into that in Miss Marvel, the show that's coming up, because like we have this girl that's glorifying superheroes, but like it's not all great, and like it's actually quite shitty as we see it from the audience perspective from like events like Civil War. It's not fun all the time. So yeah, I do like that.
And hopefully a theme I think definitely will be pursued and explored in Thor: Love and Thunder. Like that's going to be a huge choice for Jane Foster, someone who's going through cancer treatments. Right. She could power up with Mjolnir to become Lady Thor, but in the Jason Aaron comics, that resets her chemo every time she does that. So she's back to square one. And she's like, well, I can escape and be a superhero, or I can actually deal with my problems right now. Fascinating debate to have with oneself that I hope this movie leans into.
Like, I love how, like, the Marvel Studios is, like, showing us, like, different heroes like that. Like, heroes with cancer, heroes with DID, heroes with deaf heroes. Like, we need more variety like that. And so I hope the MCU moves forward telling more stories like that.
Yeah. And blind heroes as well now with Daredevil.
Absolutely. Daredevil!
Fascinating story, right? Anyway, let's talk about this golden scarab, MT. What do you think this is clearly the MacGuffin of the story right now. This is our Ark of the Covenant. What is the significance, do you think, of this scarab?
Well, Kevin Feige texted me earlier, and he told me that there's something about the Cave of Wonders and a diamond in the rough. Something about that. Something about Aladdin. I think Aladdin's gonna come. Just kidding. No. That's all I could think of when I saw this scarab. Like, this is Aladdin. This is straight up Aladdin.
Wait, you're just kidding?
But no, I think that this scarab is going to be like the huge, obviously, like you said, the huge MacGuffin of the series, and it might just be what Arthur needs to fulfill his huge mission. And then, like, obviously, they wanted enough to kill Moon Knight, and so I think that this is just going to be some type of artifact that might help him get somewhere, or like might be a key of some sort. Like it might open up and like actually be like maybe it's a locket. Who knows? But like it's definitely helping him reach Ammit. It's to some capacity. I don't know. Well, what do you think?
Yeah, I think, and I'm only basing this on trailer footage where you see a shot of Arthur Harrow in the desert with the scarab hovering over his hand.
Oh, that's
and
right.
Kind of pointing.
Yeah.
You know, so I kind of feel like it's got to be a compass leading to somewhere, some ancient tomb, some ruins that Arthur Harrow wants to get to. Maybe
the golden compass.
Knowing that he mentioned wanting to unleash or bring back Ammit to resurrect her. Like, oh, brave of you for subjecting yourself to Ammit's judgment before Ammit comes back, before Ammit's here. Mm-hmm. So, like, I think they want to bring back or resurrect Ammit or unleash the beast in the world. You know, so I think they're going to try to find where Ammit is trapped and then uncork that, I guess, to use the lost term.
Sort of like a Dweller of Darkness style. It's like, find out, just release them.
Everyone's trying to unleash these beasts. Why not just keep the beast in the cage?
Seriously, they were fine in the cave.
Beast.
All those for millennia.
We're trying to crate train these beasts. Let them just sleep the night in the crate and view it as their little home.
Exactly. Jesus Christ.
They like their crate. Anyway. All right. Final question, MT. And this is really the biggest question I think we're going to have in this series. How much of what we are seeing is real? How much is this all a dream? Is this all a fantasy, a delusion inside someone's head?
I think that for the most part, I think what we're seeing is real. I think like during that elevator sequence when like that woman turned into Khonshu, that wasn't real. But like, you know, like it seems that he's legit because like at the end of this episode, we see the jackal attack him, but like the jackal's actually interacting with the environment and like hitting things around, and like it seems that things actually happen there. Like, I don't think that Marc is like imagining that jackal. I think that jackal is actually there. So like I think it's a mix of mostly reality, magic reality, but like some kind of like, all right, I'm kind of seeing things. But what do you think?
See, I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it, and I will for the breakdown. But like it doesn't look like the jackal is really interacting. Like I don't know if we see. Obviously, it's a CGI jackal anyway. But like, I think they shoot it in a specific way where Marc pulls down the shelves in front of it and it jumps over it. It definitely climbs on stuff.
True.
But I don't know. I don't know if it's actually ripping stuff down. And the camera cuts away from the bathroom and then we cut back in and see all the sinks smashed. But like Marc himself could have smashed those.
Yo, like that bathroom was messed up. Oh, what is Marc going to say after that? What is Steve going to say?
Who knows? To me, you mentioned the elevator sequence. That's what I'm hung up on. This elevator is going up and down the building in chaotic ways. He was hitting ground floor, and then it goes down to the third, opens up. No one summoned it. Down to the second. Khonshu's at the end of the hallway. If Khonshu is supposed to be like a stand-in for that old woman, she was at the other end of that hallway. Who summoned this elevator for it to stop on the second floor? And then it goes back up to the fifth floor. No one, if it was a down-oriented elevator, you know if you get on an elevator that is headed down, even if you press the button for the fifth floor, it's going to go down to the ground floor first before it goes back up. Now, yeah, maybe there's just faulty wiring in this elevator, sure, but like it was working otherwise to get to where it needed to go. There's just all kinds of like faulty logic. I also think like when Marc was flipping through the pages researching the Ennead, the way the Ennead was listed and the people listed as being among the Ennead is not correct. And if Marc is supposed to be an expert in Egyptian mythology, like maybe there are other interpretations of the Egyptian mythology and I'm not as well versed on it, but it seems like even the textbook that Marc or that Stephen had used to say this is who and who isn't supposed to be listed on the Ennead, like even that seemed to be wrong, seemed to be like faulty. It's like someone who has that kind of like, who are these people who think that they're experts based off of reading like a Wikipedia article on something or watching one YouTube video on it. And so they'll go to their trivia night with their friends and be like, actually, I do know on this, but they have that false sense of expertise. And realistically, they don't have any degrees or any actual expertise in this stuff. But like in their own mind's eye, they view themselves as these experts on these things just because they've done a little bit of homework on it. Is that who we're seeing now with Stephen Grant? Is he actually a true nerd, a true expert? I mean, look at this. This show is forcing us to like ask the question of what makes someone's expertise true, and is someone a real nerd? It's like asking us to question who the gatekeepers are and who gatekeeps the gatekeepers. MT.
No, like this all is like really interesting because like it makes me think like, what if humanity, because of like whoever's in charge of the Ennead or Ennead, I don't know how to say it. How do you say it? Ennead?
Ennead, I think.
Ennead. Yeah, so like, what if whoever's in charge of the Ennead is feeding people like, all right, here's the true Ennead after like, I don't know, some fallout happened between the gods and like 2 gods got kicked out. And so like everyone except for Marc, who has Khonshu in his head, believes that there are 7. So like, I'm wondering if something happened.
Wow, there's like some kind of mass gaslighting. It's either Sprite going in there, like changing, like Ministry of Truthing everything so that everything prints out in a different way. Or it's like Runes of Koth calling all of society so that we all forget who really is on the Ennead. Whoa, MT, you just blew my mind right now.
That would be wild.
What I love about the show is it's presenting to us like an uncertainty of time and an uncertainty of reality. Like Marc has no idea how much time has passed. I keep saying Marc, but Steven has no idea how much time has passed over the weekend. Man, you know someone's going to turn that into a meme of like, it's Sunday. Oh no. No.
Yeah, it can't be Sunday.
Sunday. Oh no.
I was supposed to get laid today. It was on my calendar.
But like, yeah, I think like the fact that Marc or Steven never really knows what day of the week it is. We don't know how much time has passed, but we also don't know what the basic tenets of reality are right now, whether our fish has a fin that works or not. Like this show has us questioning all that stuff so that we're kind of trapped in this unreliable narrator headspace. Like we're watching Fight Club or like we're watching Memento or like we're watching Joker. We can't really trust basic things, not just stuff that's presented to be fictitious or meant to be fantastical, like seeing Khonshu standing on the side of the street. Even basic stuff like what you read on the page of a book. Can we really trust that right now? And it's such a delightful place of uncertainty to be in as we plunge into this series.
Yes.
I hope everyone can appreciate those little subtleties.
I love a good mystery.
Question everything in this show. Because I think this is the kind of show that's going to turn everything on its head, episode after episode. And we'll leave it there for this episode of Inside Marvel. The breakdown is coming out later today. It's exciting. Don't forget, of course, to check out all the great merch options at newrockstarsmerch.com. That limited edition, latest Obsession Moon Knight shirt. Really the best way to support this channel. And then write in your shout out. So we'll react.
We want to read them. We want to read them so bad.
We want to know. Follow me at Erik Voss. Follow MT, Mastertainment. Subscribe to Inside Marvel wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to New Rockstars. Thanks for watching. Later, gators.
Later, gators.
Later, skaters. Later, skaters.
Goodbye, Mom.
Goodbye, Mom.